Hey guys, it's Penguin here, and welcome back to another goal making video. Now this video is going to be a little bit different, and the reason for that is because a lot of people have asked about certain add-ons that I use for my UI as well specifically for gold making, so I thought it's about time to finally make a full add-on video, and I'm going to go through everything that I currently have enabled to make my little custom setup, and that's about it. So this video is going to be broken down in a few parts. We're first going to go over the main add-ons that I use strictly for gold making, since that's probably what a lot of people are here for. And then we're going to have another part of the video, which is just going to be like general UI, just general add-ons and stuff. So depending on what you're looking for, of course, you can use the timeline to figure out what exactly you want to know some information on, but we're going to get into this really fast. And before I get started, just to let you guys know, I am currently live streaming 4 days a week on twitch.tv, so if you guys want to follow me over there, you can catch me live a few nights a week, and yeah, so we are going to get right into it. Alright, so we will be starting with the gold making add-ons, and the first one that we have on the list is Buy 'em All. And Buy 'em All is a vendor add-on, and simply if we just go into the interface, as you can see, it looks very, very simple. However, if we shift click on this item, we get this special menu. The reason for this is because you can now finally buy certain stack sizes and multiple stacks at the same time. For example, if I just want to buy a quick stack, then I can just click this button and it keeps adding stacks and stacks. Or let's say I want to fill my whole inventory, I can hit max, so I can buy a total of 23,000 to fill the rest of my inventory. Then we also have the total amount of gold that it's going to cost. Also, let's say we only need, 5 milk, we can just type that in and then buy it super fast, just like that. So Buy 'em All is very nice. You can just go into here, type in 2,000, click OK, say yes, and then it will quickly just buy everything super fast. I love this add-on, and we're going to move on to the next one. So the next add-on that we have is called Easy Scrap, and this is actually an older add-on. This is strictly for the BFA scrapper. However, I still use it to this day for every time I can buy some really, really cheap Tide Spray linen, then I can use that in order to scrap for deep sea satin. So all it does is allows you to instantly queue up 9 items and scrap them all instead of having you individually scrap them. So it's called Easy Scrap. Technically it's an older add-on, however it's still pretty good in Shadowlands if you still use the BFA scrapper. The next add-on that we have is called Farm HUD. Now Farm HUD is a farming add-on strictly for your gatherers, and the nice thing about it, if I quickly show you on my character, as you can see the mini-map turns into basically a radar type thing in the center of your screen. So you can kind of see, because I have a quest mark over here, which is right there as you can see on the map, I can fly around using this radar and basically find nearby herbs or anything, whatever nodes are nearby, and it just helps you gather a lot. So it just keeps you in line. If you use routes or anything like that, you can just see the nearby nodes and it helps you gather a ton. The next thing that we have is Faster Loot. Now I really like Faster Loot because it's very self-explanatory. All it does is basically removes that quick looting menu when you normally loot a corpse, and that little looting menu comes up, it removes that, so it's instantly just going into your inventory, and whenever you're farming and doing transmog farms, it can save you a lot of seconds. Even though it might only save you 0.5 seconds when you loot one, that adds up after you loot 100 mobs. So definitely check out Faster Loot if you have issues with kind of waiting on that looting process. The next add-on that we have is called Gathermate 2, and Gathermate is specifically very, very good because it allows you to have nodes on your map. So let's say you are a gatherer, you can select, if we go into the Gathermate 2 settings, we can choose if we want to import anything. So let's say we want to import some mining, Cataclysm, we can import it right there. Also, every time that you loot an herb, it will show up on the map, and just keep that really nice. So if you want to use this with Farm HUD, then you will see those nodes kind of around you, and it's very good for gathering data. So if you need the nodes on the map so you can pick out routes and everything, this is almost a necessary add-on. Even if you don't want to use the import settings, just having this to display nodes on your minimap is very, very necessary. The next Goldmaking add-on that we have is called ID Tip, and it's very, very simple. It just adds an item ID on top of your tooltip. As you can see, if we hover over Penumbra thread, at the top it says item ID and then gives us that 17 number. The reason why this is really great is if you use TSM and you want to check certain IDs and you want to make custom price sources using specific items, you have to have their item ID in order to import it into TSM. Generally, you would have to go onto Wowhead or a website like that to kind of get the item ID. However, this just quickly speeds up the process by able to see it in game. So it's one of those things where you feel like you probably don't need it until you are looking up IDs, and it's just a great little thing to have. The next very simple add-on that we have, which technically you can call it a gold making or a non-gold making add-on, that is the instant portals. So as you can see, if we hover over, we can see where the dungeon entrance is on all of the maps. So if we want to go into Tanaris, as you can see right here, we can know that is Zul'Farrak. So this is just very great if you're trying to find a quick dungeon, or let's say you have, an unexplored area and you're trying to figure out where those portals are. It's just very nice to quickly look at a glance on the map, and also, let's say this is all like not explored, then you can quickly try to find out where that instance is. So this works for everything. Doesn't have to be certain locations, but you could just check that out and it is super great. The next add-on that we have is Legendary Stock Tracker. Now, I have actually made a video on this, a standalone video talking about how this is good, but the main necessity that I use this for is just keeping track of my legendary stock. So quickly, as you can see, if I want to look at my rank 6s, I am missing a Grimworld Cape rank 6, and that's going to give me about 26,000 gold profit. So right there, I can go and restock that. So this is just a great way to either look at your profit, also look at, okay, I have 2 rank 4 capes, I have 1 rank 4 or rank 5 cape, and then I have 0 rank 6 capes. Gotta go make that rank 6. Or I could say, the helmet isn't making a lot of profit right now, however, the gauntlets are, so maybe I can go craft gauntlets. So it's just a great tool to have to just quickly glance at your stock and also your profit margins for your legendaries. The next add-on that we have is called Loot Appraiser, and Loot Appraiser is this add-on right here. This is very, very good for farmers, especially the transmog farmers out there, because what this does is, as you can see, it is giving me a countdown, and it will give me my estimated loot value of whatever I pick up if this is running. So, if I'm running Zul'Farrak 10 times or doing a transmog farm, then if I pick up a random BOE, it will give me my estimate price depending on what I want to use. In this case, I have it set to TSM, the region market value. So every time I pick up an item, it will give me its region market value and then add up a total value. This is very good for those transmog farmers, but even if somebody wants to just keep up with their gold per hour, even if they're just farming volatile water or even cobalt ore, you can run this just to constantly see that gold per hour, and it's also just very nice that you get a timer as well. The next add-on that we have is the best friend of Loot Appraiser, which is the Loot Appraiser Challenge. You do have to have the original add-on in order to use this, but what this does is takes the basics of the Loot Appraiser. However, you can invite your BattleNet friends to basically do a 1v1 or, a free-for-all if you have multiple people, and it's just a nice way to challenge your friends on Blizzard. So you guys can all go run, 10 runs of the same dungeon, and then actively you guys are competing on a leaderboard, and whoever, gets the most gold at the end of the timer is the winner. So it's just a nice way to do some competitions, friendly competitions through gold making. The next very simple add-on we have is Monkey Speed, which is actually this guy right here. It just gives you a percentage of how fast your character is. So currently, if I just walk, my character is about 110% speed. Then, of course, if I get on my mount, there's a different speed for walking as well as flying. And this is very useful if you have a druid who's a gatherer who has speed sets. So You know, if you're trying to get your cat form to be a certain speed, people have gotten up in the 200% or higher, and this is just very nice to kind of track that speed and see exactly how useful your speed set is. But it's just a little bar that just tells you your percentage of speed overall. The next add-on we have is Quartz. Now, if you guys are a Raider or Mythic player, Quartz is actually just a traditional casting bar. For example, if I want to mount up, this bar right here is just Quartz. It just turns it into a very nice casting bar. But the benefit with gold making is, let's say we want to craft 40 pouches. If we were to craft, as you can see, it gives us a certain time. So in order to craft those 40 pouches, it is going to take 1 minute and 40 seconds. This is very good if you're trying to, mill a ton of herbs, and it can give you that it's going to take, 33 minutes or an hour and 10 minutes. So you just know exactly when to come back and you're not guessing and checking. So even though technically it's not used for crafting, just for the fact that it does have an actual time displayed, I use it for all of my gold making needs. The next add-on that we have is called Routes. Now, Routes works perfectly with Gathermate 2 as well as Farm HUD, and what this does is add an actual line onto your mini-map as well as your world map to kind of map out where you should gather. So traditionally, you look up, a video or look on a website to find a route of what circle path you should take in order to gather herbs, but this allows you to import that image or that route into the game, and then you can follow that. The very nice thing is that once again, you can link it to your Gathermate 2 to create those nodes, and then also it will show up on the Farm HUD, and you can just see that route and follow it in the middle of your screen. So Farm HUD, Gathermate 2, and Routes are basically just a perfect trio, so I highly recommend looking into that add-on as well. Then we have Scrap, and Scrap is just my vendor trash selling add-on. So what I can do is I have my keybind set, so if every time I hit the apostrophe, I mark something as trash. For example, if I want to mark this milk as trash, I just click that button. In the corner it says it's set as junk, and now every time if I open up my vendor, it will automatically sell that trash if I just hit sell junk. So just like that, it will automatically sell it. I'm just going to buy that back and of course unmark it, but this is very good, especially if you once again are a transmog seller or farmer. You can mark all of those, random potions or food items and cloth that you're going to pick up. But also, if you do vendor shuffles or anything like that, you can just mark the Tide Spray Bracer or the Shrouded Cloth Bracer or Cape, mark it as trash, and all you have to do is open this up. It will automatically sell it, and then you can go back to crafting. So, very good for those farmers as well as those shufflers out there. The next add-on we have is a very, very simple one. It is called Sushi Sort, and it literally just adds a clean bag or a cleanup bank feature to your guild bank. So if I want to sort this tab, let's say, I just click on this button and give it some time, and as you can see, it is sorting it. Of course, you do have to wait because it is moving everything at once, so you do have to wait for each kind of tab to cycle through, but this is just very nice if you have a cluttered bank and you don't really want to sort it yourself. This is just very nice to have to kind of see that neat view of everything kind of organized or at least clumped together. It will only do the tab that you are looking at, so you will have to do this, 6 times to sort that whole bank, but it's just very nice to have. It will organize it, group it all together, and just can save you some time with sorting it yourself. The next add-on that we have is called TomTom. Now what TomTom does is add an arrow and can set waypoints for you. Let's say you are farming rares or something like that. You can utilize these waypoints. So, for example, it will give us these little coordinates. As you can see, if I hover over my mouse, it's giving coordinates. So let's say I want to go right over here. My cursor is at that 55.8, and that's 39 mark. So I can do /way, type in those numbers, and then now I have a little TomTom waypoint which I can follow, and it will take me exactly where I want to go. So no matter where I'm looking for, I can use that. And of course, I'm just going to remove that waypoint, but that is just a very nice add-on. So if somebody's like, hey, a rare is at here, or you're looking at a guide that says you need to go to this location, you can put that in and just see an exact little arrow to tell you where you need to go. Now, the second to last add-on, which everybody should know by now, is TSM, which is a Trade Skill Master. So definitely, if you guys do not have this add-on yet, I highly recommend it. Not only is it very good in kind of automating your gold making, it's also just very nice for the very detailed tooltips that we do get along with TSM. So TSM is an add-on just like normal. However, in order to get it to work, you do have to install a desktop application onto your actual PC. So yes, you can go on CurseForge or WoW and install the TSM add-on. However, you also need to go to tradeskillmaster.com, download their desktop add-on or their desktop application, then make an account, set that up in order to utilize its whole potential. A lot of people forget about that step or don't even know it exists. So if you do not see that pricing, that is what you need to look for. But everybody should know what TSM is. It is an amazing add-on if you do not, and I highly recommend trying to look into it. And lastly, the final goal-making add-on that we have is called Worth It. Now, what Worth It is that it's just a simple add-on that will estimate your gold per hour for very famous farms. So for example, if we want to go into the mining farms, as you can see, it will list us our estimated gold per hour, tell us where to farm it, tell us the name of the ore, the sell rate of the ore, and also if you have the add-on routes, you can import a route just strictly into the game without having to search it for yourself. So as you can see, it is sorted by best gold per hour to the worst. So right now, I know on my server, I can go farm the fell iron ore and make about 35,000 gold per hour. I need to go to the Terracar Forest, and this sell rate has about a 0.07 sell rate. Now, the only add-on that you need in order to make this work is that you do need TSM. The reason for this is the actual price. If we want to go into configuration, as you can see, it uses different price sources from TSM. So if you do not have that, then this add-on will not work for you. However, I think it's a great add-on. It just gives you a glimpse and kind of helps you understand, okay, maybe I should focus my time on this, or let's say I want to go farm obsidian, or I can estimate about a 14,000 gold profit after my hour of farming. So this is very good. It has many different sections, and I highly recommend at least giving it a shot. But that is my gold making primary list of add-ons. We are now going to move over to all of the other add-ons that I use specifically for my UI, and these are just general add-ons not pertaining to gold making exactly. So the first thing that we have is Bagnon, and what Bagnon does is just create my bag into one big one instead of having them separated. So right here, as you can see, it sorts them and makes them just one big bag. Now, I have 3 add-ons or dependent add-ons that I use with this. The first one I have is Bagnon BOE, and what this does is that it just shows that an item is in fact a BOE inside of the inventory. So the bags that we created are a great example because these are a bind on equipped item. It will showcase it so I don't have to worry about, selling a transmog piece or equipping something I shouldn't. It tells me right there that it is indeed a BOE. The next one that we have is Bagnon Scrap, and like I showed before, it allows you to show these little coins during this add-on. If you have Scrap and you don't have this additional add-on for Bagnon, then you will not see these. So installing this just makes it so Scrap and Bagnon works perfectly together. Then the last Bagnon dependent add-on we have is item level, and it's just like BOE, and it simply just shows the item level at the item. So right here, I can know without even having to hover that it is an item level 207 item. So this is just very good if you're sorting or you have lots of gear sets in your inventory. You can easily pick out the highest item level if necessary, and it's just a very nice little feature to have. The next main add-on that we have is Bartender 4, and that is what I use for all of my action bars. So right here, this little section and these kind of hidden away bars are all created in Bartender 4. I just position them the way that I want, then I can set them to fade, all of that, but all of these action bars are set up through Bartender 4. Then for my camera, as you can see, it's a little bit different. It's kind of hard to tell. However, it shifts, and the cool thing about this is that you can shift it. Let's say you're in combat or you're not in combat, you can create different angles for the camera to automatically go to, and this is called dynamic cam. So it's just very, very cool. You can make a cinematic type camera, and all you have to do is you can play with the settings. There's different like action camera settings, non-action resting settings, and it's just very cool to play around with, and it just kind of adds that little special touch to the game if you set it up the way you want to. Then we have Experiencer, which is kind of a little bit hard to see on my screen right now, but it's actually this bottom bar right here. If I were, since I am max level, let's say I wanted to show this as my experience bar, you can see that it shows up, and basically it just tells me the percentage of the way I am through. This is the Archivist Codex. I am tier 4, and I need about 9,000 more rep to show, but it's just this very cool bar that you can have at the bottom of your screen, and of course it fills up. If I right click it, there's many different things you can do. You can always show the text if you want it. I keep it on hover just to make it very minimal. You can also make it show experience, reputation, honor, conquest, etc. Generally, it's always on experience, but this is my maxed character. And then, of course, you can split it in half. Let's say you want to use different sections for different things. You can also split it and adjust it. So you can, of course, move this around your screen to wherever you want it. However, I think it's very nice. It's just a very clean and minimal experience bar. The next add-on that we have is called Friend Groups, and it just allows you to create subgroups and just group your friends together. So if you are somebody who has a lot of Battle.net friends, or the fact that, you know, Blizzard has combined the NA with the EU accounts so you can see everybody on your friend list now, then you can sort them and make, let's say, an NA and an EU group, just to make sure you don't mix up everybody. But this is what you can see. I have 2 groups right now, but you can just right-click, you can create a group, then you can also add those people to the group, and it's just a very nice way to sort through your friends list if you have a lot of Blizzard friends. Then we have Glass, which is my chat menu right here. As you can see, it's just very, very minimal, which of course is my favorite thing to have, and what's really nice about it is it fades away. So if there's not a lot of activity in chat, and you know, I'm just doing whatever I want, eventually it will fade away, which is just super, super nice. And as you can see, it is gone, and it's just very, very minimal. Also, even if it's showing, if you're in like a very public place, it doesn't take up a lot of space because the bar itself is pretty transparent, besides the text, of course. So, you know, it's a lot easier to look at than the default chat window. Next add-on that we have is specifically, I use it for Korthia, but it is called Handy Notes. Handy Notes, it just adds treasures and rares to the map. So all these treasures and the rares, it's just telling me exactly these are where they are. So I can, you know, if I don't want to see the rares, I can get rid of them. If I do want to see the hidden treasures, I can show them, etc., etc. It's just very nice to showcase these on your map, and you don't always, you know, have to scramble and look for them just on the minimap. There's many dependent versions of this. For example, if you want the Korthia stuff, you will have to get Handy Notes and then Handy Notes _ Shadowlands. There's one for every single expansion. So if you do download, you know, Handy Notes and you don't see this, you also need to get the dependent add-on, which is the Shadowlands version. But this is great for all expansions, definitely if you're a treasure hunter, and it's just very nice to have all of that data right on your world map. The next add-on that we have is called Khalil's Tracker, and this is just my quest log right here. I really like it because, once again, it kind of is a minimum look, and worst comes to worst, if I don't want to look at them, I can just hide them away. Traditionally, you know, you could have this in the corner of your screen, or you could make it so it, you know, instead of expands downward, it expands upward, and then you could have it at the bottom of your screen, but I just have it right here, and it's just very nice because I can hide it away if I want. You can also filter this stuff, so, you know, if you only want to see the stuff that you can do in your zone, if you only want your dailies and your weeklies, if you only want to show, you know, your instant stuff, etc., it's very nice to sort that. And then, of course, you can view your achievements and your quest log, etc. But I think it's very nice to look at. You know, it shows campaign, the actual just normal quests that I have. And I think it's just a very nice, you know, non-traditional quest log. So definitely check it out if you want that more minimal look. If you guys haven't noticed, that's what I'm trying to go for, but I hope you guys enjoy that one. The next add-on that we have is called Mask, and now what Mask does is it changes the look of my actual buttons. So, like I stated before, Bartender creates these action bars in terms of, I've made them this many buttons, I put it at the center of my screen, I hid these away. However, the little, I guess I should call it skin of the bar, is through Mask. So Mask is just an add-on which you can download skins into to change the look of your add-on bar, and the one that you are looking at right now is specifically the clean UI version, so you would need to download Mask and then the dependent add-on mask_clean UI, and then in-game I change it to the clean UI thin version. So that is what I personally use. However, there are circles, there are squares, there are very zoomed in, very zoomed out, white, blue, black, whatever you like, you can change that skin to be whatever you want. The next add-on that we have is called Move Anything, which it just, like the name suggests, it allows you to hide or move anything in the Blizzard UI. So for example, I moved my buffs and my debuffs from up here to down here to just match my map and everything like that. So traditionally, since that's default UI, that's very hard to move. However, you can just use this add-on, select what you want, and then move it wherever you like. Also, if there's certain parts of your add-on that you do not like, certain parts of your UI, then you can just go in here and hide it away. So, very great. As you can see, there are so many options, and a lot of it is amazing. So, just look through that. If you're trying to hide something, trying to move it, Move Anything is definitely your add-on. The next add-on that we have is Omni CC, and there's a lot of things you can do with this add-on. However, I just use it very plainly in terms of I just use it to show the countdown timer or the cooldown timer on my action bars. So for example, if I were to do Tiger's Lust, Omni CC gives me a 30-second timer, and as it goes closer to 0, it will change colors, and it just gives me the correct time, so I know exactly that I need 15 seconds left until I can queue it again. So I'm not just guessing, with the little panels. It actually shows me how much time I have remaining, and as you can see, it turned to red, and then eventually it will go back and be ready to use. So I think it's very nice if you definitely have, your cooldowns that have 2 minutes or anything like that. It's very nice so you're not guessing, I think I have 15 seconds, you have 15 seconds left. Then my map add-on that I use is Sexy Maps, and I have just positioned it in this corner, but it's just called Sexy Maps. There are very, very different versions, so right here, I'm kind of using like the compass circular map that I have created, but there's some square ones, there's some very, very weird ones, diamond-shaped maps, but Sexy Maps, if you want to customize your map, make it very minimal, and also have some cool designs, Sexy Maps is definitely something you want to look for. Then we have the shadowed unit frames, which is what I use right here. This is my shadow unit frames, and if I want to highlight, let's say I was like attacking somebody or something, all of those unit frames, all of those little tooltips frames, they're all utilized with shadow unit frames. I just made them so, they're a little bit skinnier than normal, and then of course I want to match the class, but there's so much customization that you can do. I really enjoy it, and that is just shadowed unit frames. Then we have Tip Tack, and what Tip Tack does, it is just a better tooltip add-on, so you can get this, for example. So my tooltips look a little bit different than traditional style, and that is just the reason that I use Tip Tack. If I want to go into the tree and hopefully find another player, there we go. Let's say I want to hover over this person. As you can see in the corner, well, they disappeared. In the corner, I can see that it's a level 60 Night Elf Hunter. I can know the talents, it's Beast Mastery, all of that, and so that's just this extra tooltip, which is called Tip Tack. So you just get that extra information, and you can also get the design of the tooltip by using this add-on. So I think it looks very nice. Also, if you're looking at somebody and you're like, I wonder what spec they play, you can just hover over, and this is a Restoration Druid. So very nice to see, I really like it, and it's just a little fun tooltip add-on to add. The last little add-ons, which I'm not going to go into much detail, but we have the Deadly Boss mods. I just use that, for dungeon fights, all of that, timers, tells me how to do the fight. Very, very traditional add-on. I also have GTFO. Once again, just another one of those fighter add-ons. Tells me to stop standing in whatever I'm standing in. Then we have Paragon Reputation, which just creates this little Paragon reputation bar right here. So instead of just staring at a full-on exalted bar with just a little bag at the end, it makes it so it completes and makes a whole nother bar. So it's just a lot nicer to look at. Doesn't really do anything besides visuals, but it's just a nice little thing to see. So your paragons, shows up as blue instead of just a little circle at the end that you have to look at. Then we have weak auras, which weak auras is like this right here. Very, very popular for the rating and for the Mythic Plus scenery. However, you can use it for example, this is a Tormentors of Torghast timer. You can do it for rare timers, whatever you want, but it's just a very nice add-on to have, and it just shows you, cooldowns. You can set it so it shows boss abilities being on cooldown, just really however you want, but it's just a nice little extra information add-on as well. Then lastly, the final add-on that we have is called Venture Plan, and Venture Plan, it is the command table add-on for Shadowlands. Now, I believe it is still not on WoW or the CurseForge. You just have to look up Venture Plan, and there should be like the website which you can download it. It's just like any other add-on, but I don't think it's on the public forums yet. I might be wrong though. By this time this video's out, might be out there, but if not, it's very nice. It just uses the Shadowlands command table, just like Master Plan or anything with the Garrison mission tables. It's just the same thing, however, it uses that new style of battle mechanisms that the Shadowlands table uses. So, very nice if you do that mission table stuff. But yeah, guys, that is it. I know this video is long, however, I do have a lot of add-ons, but to everybody who wanted to see exactly what a part of my add-ons were, or exactly how I created my UI, hopefully this brings some light to that picture, but thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe if you loved it, and just let me know if you guys have any suggestions, or you guys have any comments, and of course, if I missed over an add-on, or if you want more detail, please let me know. But until next time, if you guys haven't already, please check out my Twitch. Also, joining the Discord is where you're going to be most notified with whenever I go live, and also when a new video is coming out. So if you want to join that amazing community, go ahead. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and of course, have a good day.